They hadn't been back in years, not since the move, not since life got so busy, not since adulthood had wrapped itself around them like a tight suit, pressing them into someone unrecognizable. But here they were, back in the attic of their childhood home, helping clear things out after their parents decided to downsize. Dust clung to everything. Old lamps, faded trophies, cardboard boxes labeled kitchen, memories, junk. They weren't looking for anything in particular, just clearing out, checking off tasks, until they opened a plain brown box with no label. Inside was a sketchbook, not one they remembered right away, not one they'd been searching for. But the moment they touched it, it felt like touching a version of themselves they'd forgotten. The cover was bent, pages slightly curled, smelled faintly of crayons, markers, and imagination. They opened it and were transported. Dragons, spaceships, unicorns, and hoodies. A comic strip about a talking slice of pizza. None of it made much sense, but every page radiated joy. There were spelling mistakes, off proportions, wild color choices, but it was bold, unapologetic, alive. They flipped page after page, remembering the kid who drew these things, the one who would stay up past bedtime under the covers with a flashlight, the one who dreamed of becoming an animator, an artist, someone who created wonder. They stared at one sketch in particular, a drawing of a self-portrait, grinning, arms raised like a superhero. Below it, in crooked capital letters, it said, "Me, I can do anything." That simple sentence broke something open inside them, because now they couldn't remember the last time they'd believed that. Somewhere between report cards and rejection letters, between job interviews and performance reviews, between bills and breakups and burnout, that fearless voice had been buried. That belief that they were capable, creative, and full of magic gone. They closed the book gently, not to put it away, but like one might close a sacred text, a moment of reverence. Then they whispered, "I miss you," not to the sketchbook, but to themselves, to the version of them that didn't need permission to believe in their worth. Somewhere along the way, they started measuring value by output, by comparison, by likes and follows, and whether their art could be monetized. They'd stopped drawing years ago, told themselves they weren't that good, that it was a waste of time, that real life didn't have room for sketchbooks. But now, holding that worn-out pad in their hands, they realized something painful and beautiful. They hadn't just stopped drawing. They had stopped seeing themselves. That night, they didn't sleep much. They laid on their old childhood bed, sketchbook beside them, memories flooding in. The first time they ever drew something, and their teacher taped it to the wall. The time they made birthday cards by hand for every kid in class. The joy, the pride. It had never been about being good. It was about expression, freedom, self-love. The next morning they went downstairs, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, pulled out a blank page, and began to draw, not for approval, not for profit, just to feel that voice again. The pencil was shaky at first, lines unsure, but slowly something returned, a little smile, a flicker of confidence, a whisper of "there you are." They spent hours drawing that day, lost track of time, forgot about notifications. It wasn't about creating masterpieces. It was about reconnecting with a part of themselves they'd left behind. and with every stroke they felt lighter, more whole, more them. There's a part of you that you may have boxed away because the world said it wasn't practical, or impressive, or profitable. But that part of you, the one who colored outside the lines, who danced when no one watched, who believed in magic, that part is still in there, waiting, not for perfection, not for an audience, just for your permission to return. They left their parents' house that weekend with only one box, the one with the sketchbook inside. And in that box wasn't just paper or childhood. It was self-worth, in pencil and ink, in imperfection, in joy. It was a reminder that we are not what the world demands of us. We are not only our job titles or resumes or filtered photos. We are made of imagination and curiosity and courage. We are made of the parts we've forgotten. Maybe there's a sketchbook waiting in your past. Maybe it's not art. Maybe it's a journal, a song, a silly dream you once had before the world got too loud. Go find it, blow off the dust. Remember what it felt like to believe that you could do anything, because you still can. And more importantly, you still are.